Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. One sec. One sec. Yeah. You hear me? One second. Can you hear me, Travis?
Yeah, we got you.
How are you, bud?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I was at a meeting. Oh, I forgot to post this till an hour ago. Completely forgot.
Good.
How's everything with you?
It's going well, man. Going well. Just keeping on, you know?
That's all we can do, right?
That's all we can do.
What are you guys working on?
Working on a couple different things right now. Got a pitch later on today for a chief medical officer, so excited about that. And a couple of IT driven roles and a couple marketing roles. So
You do a lot of IT roles?
not a ton, but enough to know what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
We don't we don't kind of shy away too much from those positions, but a lot of medical officers, a lot of commercial marketing, mostly in the farm biotech space.
Okay. Well, I got two senior full stack developer roles, which I don't even normally do these roles,
Yeah,
but I got a call with the guy here shortly, CEO. He's like, "Can you help me?" I go, "Sure." We'll see.
nice. Yeah, I'm pitching also later today some machine learning and engineer specialist positions in Boston, just because there's not a ton around. So there's like 10 different companies that are hiring for that, and I think the pool's about 55. So
Yeah.
you know, kind of just using that as not really an NPC, but more like, hey, here's your market. there's 10 other companies hiring. How are you guys going to differentiate yourselves to get them over to you? You know, if you need a storyteller, that's probably what you need versus just an intake.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, you, Buck?
Hey there, Dom. How's it going, man?
Good. Sorry, I forgot to post this till the last minute.
What was
Um,
that?
I forgot to post this, and I did it an hour ago.
Speaking of posting, I'm gonna go live with my first like lead magnet. I
Oh,
spent
nice.
a decent amount of time on it. Yeah, it's like a talent, I'm calling it the talent forecast kit. So basically, it's just like a 4-sheet spreadsheet that like helps people figure out if they need to hire, who they need to hire, and when they need to hire them. So I did like built a spreadsheet. I got a PDF.
That's it. That's it. Can you share?
Yeah, man. I
Good
did a
stuff.
video too. It's like I spent a lot of time and effort on it, but I want the first one to really hit and make a splash. So I'm doing like a full campaign of email, LinkedIn. I've got all my social media, like I've got all the socials. That's the here, I'll just share my screen real quick.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
So, oh my gosh, window. So this is the landing page right here. I've got the YouTube video that like walks people through it, blah 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 blah, and then
Did you do YouTube for the reason why like people won't really click on their links? Is that why you did that?
yeah, but also I'm trying to grow my LinkedIn presence. I mean my YouTube presence. I've got oh shit, man. Sorry, I'm trying to do multiple things at once. Yes, there's that. I found that like either whether if I'm using Loom or Dub or Beads, SenseSpark, whatever, it doesn't get as many people clicking on it as a YouTube link will. So I've got that on YouTube, but then I also want to grow my YouTube channel. I've only got like 10 subscribers, and I just did my first long form video on that. So man, how do I share my screen so that you guys can see this PDF window? There we go.
Yeah.
So then I've got this full, I built this PDF, right, which goes through, it's got all of the instructions on how to use the talent forecast kit, which is just this little, so can you guys still see this? Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
slow. Yeah, so it's just this basically this stock that helps people figure out if they need to hire. So like, you know, I'm just really trying to pull out all the stops as far as my biz dev is concerned and really step up the content creation game. Because I just feel like that will help with people like actually answering the phone or calling me back or responding to emails. I mean, I feel like I've just been shouting into the void a lot over these last couple of months. And so, I mean, I don't have like the years and years and years of my brand and of a reputation to fall back on. So I really I'm focusing as much as I can on just creating that. I've been writing articles. I published in a major trade publication like a few weeks ago that was performing well enough for them to include in their newsletter. Doing another one. I've actually had people like I just had a rock star of a candidate reach out to me this morning because he saw my article in one of the trade publications. So that has been positive. I mean, I'm just like
Trying it all.
Yeah, really just spending a lot of time and effort on that, on the maybe not less traditional methods and just stepping up the content creation game, but breaking out time in my day rather than pushing it to the end of the night because I feel like I've been usually what I've been doing is like, all right, 7 or 8 p.m. I'll start recording a video, but I'm like uncashed by then. And I'm like, you know, I don't have the energy that I do in the day to really engage and make it seem engaging. So I'm like, I'm budgeting at least 3 windows during the week for 2 hours of creating content and doing, you know, outward lead generation essentially.
That's awesome. Man, I agree with I tried to do it at night one time too, or a few times. And I'm like, yeah, it has to be for me right when I'm talking to somebody. I don't edit the videos or anything. I'll just be like, all right, that's what I'm going to talk about right now. You know, a
Mhm.
guy told me the other day, he goes, I love your videos because it's not production. It's just genuine. It's you. I go, yeah, well, I don't edit them. I don't pay anyone to edit them. I don't even know what I'm going to say at the time. There's no script. Just go.
Yeah.
And he liked it. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I think you
You
do a
know,
great job on your videos. I mean, you've got a lot of knowledge. Like you're a legit thought leader. I mean, you've got a really established business and you've got a great reputation over, 15 years or whatever. And I think that anything you say is going to be taken seriously. Whereas I don't necessarily have that. I feel like I've got to rely on some more tricks to make myself seem more professional with lighting and editing. But I want to
yeah,
start doing more of this. And like the next component is maybe like booking some podcasts or engaging with people via video and recording that and then posting that and clipping it and stuff like
yeah. Be careful what you wish for on a podcast. Sometimes you go on
that.
there and you will get a million people that reach out to you.
Oh God.
And it's like, man, of course I want to help them. They're recruiters, right? They're our friends, but it's like, I got a million other things to do, calls, and you get all these people that reach out to you, like from the Elite Recruiter podcast, a million people, connections. It's flooded my LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's
But
like
it's good though. It's really good.
for every like 100 candidates that hit you up, you get maybe like one potential client.
Yeah. Well, like for example, this right, just building long-term relationships. Like I was golfing yesterday. I got invited by the COO of 75 companies in supply chain logistics. Right. So he oversees a portfolio of companies. He
Damn.
invited me to golf, and on my way home, he calls me, goes, "Hey, Dow, I know you know everybody. He's like, you got an ex-sheriff guy that like the family wants a security driver, right? These high-end and family guys, like Stellantis had this security for their executives, and so he asked me, I'm like, yeah, perfect fit, my neighbor. I gave him my neighbors, and connected him there, and that's just one way in. I would have never thought he would have asked me for that, but
Sweet.
you know, here's the thing, Buck. I'm on the board with him and another the Council of Supply Chain Management. I've never asked him once for business ever. And I was waiting for him to come to me. And those guys, you provide enough value to see that you're truly genuine and authentic with the care, and then they'll just start plugging you in. He's like, "Oh, Dom, I want to fly to Spain and see one of our companies. We're doing some urban farming where we're taking like contracts with Verizon. We're pulling out copper out of the ground. We're splicing it, and then we're sending it to our facilities to be manufactured into concrete pellet bags." I'm like, "What?"
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm like, "How did you guys even get into that?" Well, people that have money, it's fucking easy for them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well, of course we're going to tap into Verizon's contracts and get this free money that's underground because we have the money to buy the machines to pull it out. But like, what does that have to do with supply chain? A lot, because then they have the supply chain logistics arms of their companies, right? That will just ship it all over.
Hmm.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. And hey, a free trip to Spain.
Yeah, yeah, right.
That'd be really cool. That sounds like a really interesting business endeavor on their point.
Well, this guy's brilliant, man. He's just one of my mentors. He's a guy that will go in and fix anything. One of the best operators I've ever met. Um, and he's
And
just a good person. What's that?
you said he's your neighbor?
No, my neighbor is the security guy, but yeah, like
Oh,
the COO is a good friend of mine now.
yeah, it sounds like a really good person to be connected with. That's the thing about the biz dev, man. It really is a long game. It's about just being present, always being visible and talking to the right people. I mean, that's something that for me getting established is very challenging just because, it's not something you can just do in one go, and it's not necessarily a tangible effort. It's like all these different components lead to success over time. So that's just something I'm trying to
Definitely.
keep in mind as I'm doing all this stuff every day. I don't necessarily see the fruits of my labor in my efforts, but I think
Yeah,
it all comes.
it will come. And you just got to be there at the right time, right place, right time, and just keep networking nonstop. You know?
For sure. I mean, I also just launched with RecStack. It's been a bit of an adjustment. I mean, I really like Patrick and Lisa, the folks over there. I think they've had some troubles with the clay expert and getting my ICP dialed in.
What are you targeting again? You're going construction now?
I'm nutraceutical, so like dietary supplements, vitamins, that industry.
Oh, okay.
So what it is
Yeah.
there's a couple different components. So it's either like you see the brands of the companies that you're buying these vitamins for, whether it's like Nature's Way or whatever. And then so they may not be the manufacturer. They could be, but they might not be. There's companies that manufacture their own goods, but then there's companies that are just a brand and then they manufacture. So there's brands who also manufacture, and then there's contract manufacturers, and then there's the ingredient suppliers. So there are a bunch of different components of that business, and I'm trying to, my background in recruiting is manufacturing, so I really get that world. But then there's like this whole scientific and marketing component as well.
So, Bob, are you free tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.? I'm going to plug you into this guy who's got a ton of roles open, and it's right in your alley. I forgot if you were going construction or. I could have sworn you told. Did you say construction before or no?
I have, I've done construction a little bit, and I have a lot of leads in construction. That is kind of like a fallback ICP. But I just feel like it's a really crowded space. There are tons of construction recruiters out there, and I really wanted to get into something that wasn't super crowded. There's only maybe 2 full-time recruiters that are handling the industry that I'm in.
Well, good stuff. You're taking the initiative and doing anything you can. That's awesome. Good job. Oh, what's up, man? How are you?
Did you say me? I didn't hear my name.
Yeah.
I'm up. What's up, Dom? Not too much.
What's up? New for you?
Not. Well, I would say similar to Buck. So I also decided to take a stab at RecStack and see what the deal is here. Give it a fair go to see what type of results it's going to produce from a business development perspective. I think that's the main reason why I'm pursuing it. I'm like a week or 2 behind Buck, I think, in terms of where he's at in that process. So still narrowing down what my ICP is going to look like for the clay tables that they're going to be pulling from and getting that situated. I think one thing that I'm challenged by and trying to really drill down into is SaaS sales has been my focus, but there's verticals within SaaS sales, right? And where do you niche down within those verticals? And I do have some clients that are like early stage startups, Series A, but I don't know. I'm indifferent about that space because it's hard to capture the attention of those leaders. And then I also have some clients that are in the like ERP, CRM space, the reseller world, where I might be shifting there. Or do I start broadly SaaS, see what the results are, and hey, if it's health tech, fintech, prop tech, then drill down based off of what the results look like from the initial broad campaign at like outreach, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You ever heard of companies like called Sprinkler?
Yep.
Yeah. I would target those because I fill the role, and that's not. I'm in supply chain tech, right? SaaS supply chain tech, but like I filled a role for this company in that space, and it was the same type of candidates that we're looking for anyways, but they wanted it just from the background, like Sprinkler, Yogi, there's so many of them. I have a whole list I can send you. This would be your perfect ICP. When I was targeting for this role, we filled it with a great candidate. Let me see if I can find it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it just to check it out.
But you take these, these 20 companies, and then there's your perfect ICP right there.
Yeah, because there's so many different directions that you could go in there. But I'm also trying to leverage the fact that I have, testimonials and whatnot from existing clients. So how can I not totally abandon that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you don't want to walk away from what you were doing. Yeah. Oh, let me send this to you. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, Joe, just real quick to add to that. So you said ERP and CRM.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting you mentioned that because I actually used to work for a reseller back in the day for about 8 years, actually selling CAD software and PLM.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and I just kind of revisited them and went back to them, and they it's one of those where they don't hire too many account managers, from that standpoint, but they're on targets 220, 250, software is a way to go. It was funny though, because when I was recruited for a position, or I was trying to anyways, it didn't really turn out. But anyways, long story short, I talked to one of these resellers, had their own staffing firm as a branch. So because they sold CAD and PLM solutions, product lifecycle management solutions, into accounts, they had their own staffing arm. And it's actually, the company's called, I think it's Trimec. And so then I was calling these people up that were actually selling, like staffing, like they would go in, they're like, we already have the account. Now we'd go in and say, hey, do you need any engineers? Do you need any designers? Do you need, because we designers, we train them, so it was an angle getting in. So I think there's a lot, I mean, and they're making millions doing it. I mean, it's almost more than what they're making on the software sales. Their services, they're making more doing the staffing because they get the in. Like the gal I spoke with, she was like President's Club for 7 years in a row. And she's like, first of all, I did it working 15 hours a week. I made President's Club. How the hell do you do that for new business development?
Connections.
If it's not, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like their sales reps go in there, sell a solution, and now all of a sudden, hey, you need someone that can actually do that, use this software and design for you. We can provide that. And then I was kicking back because, obviously off the record, you're talking to these people, they're pretty open on things. And, and she's at the end of the day, they're just talking about like, there's a lot of positions we can't fill. We give it a week or two on our team, and then we just tell them we can't do it. So I'm like, they're only working these deals for like 2 weeks. If they can't get a candidate in a week to 2 weeks, they're done with the customer. They're like, we can't, it's unfillable. And I'm like, that's something that, and they're only doing the BD side of it, right? So they're not driving their team, the sourcing team, to actually fill these placements. So there's a lot of, oh my God. Anyways, I just want to tell you from a reseller standpoint, think of the staffing, because if you are picking an ERP or a CRM that you're comfortable with, go after the find out accounts that have that solution and say, oh yeah, no, my experience, I was a sales admin for Salesforce for 10 years. I know how to use this from the inside. You need someone to administer that in your company today, I will find that person, but they're going to ask 150,000 a year. They're not going to ask 40 or 50. So you got to pay the person who's going to be able to administer that, because they're not going to do just saying that the licenses are updated. They're actually going to create dashboards for you. They're going to need to do scripting, for you on if you want some automations within the tool. You're going to need this person that's going to have that high caliber. So what I'm saying is just leading into that, really expand on something that you feel very confident, and then just go in and attack, because you'll find companies that I could go right now and I could probably find a list of Salesforce customers off of Salesforce website, and I can start poaching down that route because I know the software. I've been, I was on the other side of the fence. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going right now, because like I said, right now I'm trying to look at manufacturing. I'm in the NECA of agriculture right now. Like the Mecca, I got John Deere, 20 minutes, global headquarters, plants are, there's 5-6 plants within 25 miles of my house, too big, but I'm looking at the supplier side of it. But I'm hearing some of the suppliers, one recent supplier creates all the seats and stuff for a lot of these construction, Bobcat and all that kind of stuff. And they just switched to an ERP system, and it just took them, the whole company down. It was their corporate headquarters, and the ERP was a bad implementation. So now they're having a big challenge right now. They're going to have to lay off people. Matter of fact, Dom, I have someone that's got a marketing 4-year degree in marketing and sales, would love to get into logistics. How the hell does someone get in the door in logistics?
Good luck right now. Good luck right now. But do they have do they have a background in athletics or a military vet? Because if they do, I can get them in right now.
No.
Well, we can say
Nope.
that they do. They played high school,
Yeah. There
college,
you go.
whatever.
She is bright. She is bright as can be. She's
Yeah.
unfortunately she's doing so many different things right now for the company. She's been in marketing and now she's like doing sales for the company, customer success. The last 6
Oh,
months.
that's a good spot. That's a good spot if she goes into supply chain tech because everybody's asking for that right
So,
now. Because you think about it, these companies
yeah,
sign these big SaaS deals, 3-year deal, let's say 10 to 100 million TCV, total
yeah,
contract value. Then they don't follow up with the client or the customer until 2-3 months before. It's like, hey, it's time for renewal. Hey, but you left me hanging for 2.5 years, and you think I'm going to re-sign a $20 million deal with you?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. That goes back to what we were talking about a long time ago. Customer success.
Customer success. Oh God, yeah. I just had
Huge.
a brink with Loxo, and it took me 48 hours for them to follow up with me after
Yeah,
an
no,
accounting
they're
meeting.
getting too big.
I'm like, I just couldn't get a hold of anybody. I mean, I actually sent it to the CEO. I've sent it out across the board. It just took forever to get a response, and I was
Yeah.
so fucked with it. Yeah,
Joe
customer
Buck,
service number one. Let me know, Dom, if you need. I can pass the resume or let me know whatever.
yeah, I'll do whatever I can help.
She, she's hungry, so.
All right, perfect. Joe Buck, let me know how that goes, Rex Stack. I just want to see how
Yeah,
it works for you guys. What are they charging you again?
What was that?
What are they charging you?
for Rec Sack.
He just raised the price. I think.
Hey,
Yeah. Let me check on his website.
I can pull it up here. Let's see. $7.95 a month.
Yeah, I think it was $6.95.
Yeah, I'm
Before that.
curious to see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I am equally as interested.
I
Um,
know Patrick, and I know he knows what he's doing. But my only thing is this: it's like, okay, what if you have all these people sign up? How are you going to handle all that right now?
I
You know?
think I think to your point, um, I don't think it's a fully baked solution yet. I think they're kind of building a plane as they're flying it in some aspects. I think some areas tighter than others. I will say the CSM person they have there that's working with folks, she's on point. Um, but behind the scenes outside of that, I don't know what it looks like. Um, but to me the ROI, Dom, is pretty will be pretty evident pretty quickly. Like, hey,
Yeah.
how are these campaigns performing? Are they generating conversations with qualified prospects? And that's all it needs to do from my lens. It's on me to close those deals and fill
Right.
positions. But that's what I'm using to test it.
Yeah. Keep me posted on that. I'd love to see how it works out because I know if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are using it right now. So yeah, I just would love to hear how it works out.
Your
So
your your gears are turning. Your gears are turning for. uh,
always. Yeah, they're yeah. I was just talking to CEO of Chatterworks, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down. I'm building this tool that will integrate all the messaging." And I'm like, "Dude, it's ready to go out. You're too late." I go, "You're too late. It took you guys a year to build that out, and now the VC wants that. And guess what? There's already 3 other companies now that do it. One of them, I think I sent it to you, Tim. I don't know if I did, but it's called UNI Unipile.
I don't think I've seen that. No, not yet.
So that's what Chatterworks was trying to build. And I go, well, here you go. He didn't even know this was out there. I go, yeah, too late.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
there's
so yeah,
so
how
much
you doing?
getting built so fast.
And that's the
Uh,
thing, Joe. Every day there's something new coming out,
Wow.
and it's like shit is changing so fast.
but
And trying to stay up on this stuff it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
it is. But it also makes me think like, all right, it, I don't know.
Yeah, you just got to
I'm
know
always
what do
like,
you really
You
need.
know,
What do you really need? What can make your life easier, and then just stick to it and go. And then
yeah,
when you get the time, you look through. Okay, does that in my chain or my workflow? Where is the biggest pain point? Okay, right now, sourcing. All right. Let me figure out a tool that can figure out the sourcing piece. The rest of it is looking good right now. But even me, that's me too. It's like, oh, I'm looking at all this shit all the time. It's like, okay, relax down, just focus on these.
Yeah, yeah, because I do think that there's going to be like speed to effectiveness. Like there's so much people don't know what to use, and they're constantly testing. And the one who could figure out what makes you the most effective with the least amount of people and resources is who's going to capitalize on the opportunity the fastest. So
100%.
There's truth to that, but you also got to look at your process and your customers, and you got to take care of them first. Those are the one that's feeding the lion. And I think we get sidetracked because we're always looking for efficient processes where it's like right now, I went back to the basics. I went back to my process, the manual process, and I know I can automate a lot of it, but I'm going right back to the basics because this is what I need. I want revenue coming in so I can seed all this stuff going down the route, So
Right.
like I'm really focusing every day. I got a sticker on in front of my computer. It says revenue generating activities. We get stuck in this wonderful thing like education is great. And you have to, the whole Jim thing when he says work on yourself more than you work on the job. There's a lot of truth to that, right? Because as you become better, you become more efficient and all that. But don't waste those prime hours of the day to, be doing these, working with, this rec stack and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with it, but it'd be nice if they were available at 6 o'clock at night.
exactly.
But they're not, are they?
You're spot
So-
on, right? You
So
got
you
to.
just ate 2 hours of your day and you haven't seen a result yet or anything and just setting it up. It's like so frustrating. It's like, okay, if I go with your solution, are you available at 4 o'clock the next week? That's the time I'm at. I'm not going
Right.
to work at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But unfortunately, it's a case. So now you're giving up your time, right? That you could be driving other things, building relationships, calling people up, like you mentioned, working on a niche, getting more people that you know. And I think
Yep.
sometimes you forget about those connections. Look at your LinkedIn, like everybody you connected with, people you used to work with, all that kind of stuff. How often are we calling these people up and just checking in? Where I used to work, VP of operations, when I told you I was a reseller, he works for a company now and he's, I think he's managing the design on PLM, for him. So like the design process. So like, why am I not reaching out to him? I've tried to get a hold of him a couple times. He gave me some times he's available, but I never connected. That should be top notch. It should be a priority, So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyways, just think about that a little bit. Try to work these, have them work around you. If you're working with a vendor, have them work around you instead of, they always say when you're available, and then you're like, oh, 10 o'clock tomorrow is great. Think about your time, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Right
No
now you
doubt.
should be spending on FBCs or whatever you need to do, right? And that's
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
done the night before. You should be calling the, companies you sent it out to.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Ernie's on here, and he's the one who told me. We had a conversation this morning. He's like, "Why are you sending emails to that person, Tim? Call." And I got myself. It was just checking on an update on the shared network, and I sent out to a recruiter, and I'm like, "Why the hell did I not just call that recruiter?" I spent 5-10 minutes sending another email, and it's gonna come back my inbox and distract me. So why the hell
Yep.
not pick up the phone? My goal is to just lead with the phone. This next week, I'm
Always.
gonna challenge how many times I can make these phone calls.
You know how often I'm on this thing? All day, every day, from 7
Yeah.
a.m. I had a call every morning at 8 a.m. accountability call, and he was like, "Tom, you already had calls." I go, "Dude, you're my fourth call in the morning. What do you mean? Like this. I've had 8 calls before 8 a.m. You know, but
Yeah.
the people that I work with, some of the CEOs, they're up and at it 5 too, 4 or 5. That's some of them don't even sleep. They're building so fast because they need to.
Yeah.
They don't want to get left behind. Toya, how about you? You there?
Hi,
How are you?
good. Just been here doing the same thing. I like, I think it was Tim mentioned that you just kind of get caught up in those non-revenue producing cycle of trying to learn new things and add new things. And so I actually have shifted my focus to kind of not spend as much time on those things as well and kind of going back to basics, saying my phone calls, back to basics with my processes and kind of streamlining things more.
This is what I do every morning. I'll print out
Yeah,
my to-do list for the day and I'll time block it. And then I'll start checking it off one by one every day.
every day. Mm.
So even the night before, I'll prepare this and I'll say, all right, what's the top priority? Where's the fastest to the money, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's this rule. All right, where do I got to follow up with? Yeah, and running a full desk it's tough because it's like, oh, you got to do that, and then you're right. I mean, then you got emails coming in, then you got calls coming in, and I was working on this, I was sourcing over here, and then I get sidetracked. Then next thing you know, it's like, okay, I just wasted 2 hours and I forgot where I was, and I was so in the zone. And I
Yeah.
started putting on this music. I don't know, it's like ADHD music, but you put
I
on
love it.
headphones and
Yeah.
you are just dialed in.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the video. This is, if you're like me and you're all over the place sometimes, this is probably a
Yeah.
great video for you to watch. Or not watch, but put your headphones on and listen to it.
These headsets are always on. I'm always listening to something in the background. I just
Let me see if I can pull this from my laptop.
Yeah, but that's definitely something that I've been trying to refocus on is when you're prioritizing your tasks is to just work closest to the money, like you
Yeah.
said.
Speaking of recruiters, here's Rich Rosen.
Yeah.
Come join. Um, he's an animal too, all over the place.
Yeah.
Can I bump in and ask your guys' expertise on this? First of all, Ernie, love the haircut. Always
Yeah.
good to see you on here. Secondly, I don't know if you've ever heard of this top of funnel sourcing one with all the tools out there, but it's called Nebula. I did a demo with the guy a couple months ago. Looks like a really good one compared to everybody that I've been looking at. What I like most about it gives you like real-time W-2 information. I don't know how this guy has information on that.
Wait, Travis, wait. Is this Brandon Charleston?
I think so. Yeah, that's the guy.
He's a
Nebula.
freaking beast, what he can do. I don't
Man,
know.
this
Um,
guy. I'll put it in the chat, but if anybody wants to play around with it, maybe next week, if anybody, or just shoot me a message and just say like what your thoughts are on it. But it seems to be more top of funnel than anybody else that I've looked at. And again, that W-2 information, what I've taken to some of my clients too is, if they're looking for a one-eyed unicorn in that space, it's like all those candidates are in, Nebraska. You're not going to find anybody in Wisconsin, right? So you can kind of give them the lay of the land versus just going on LinkedIn Recruiter or anything else and try to map these candidates. So it's a pretty versatile tool. Again, I'll put it in the chat and would love your guys' opinion on it whenever you guys get a second.
yeah, Travis, I'd love to see that. But if I think it is what I'm thinking about, look up this guy, Brandon Charleston, on YouTube. He does the Instantly YouTube channel. And Rich is on. Rich, I think I was telling you about Brandon. What he can do is insane. Brandon Charleston. Instantly. Let me find this video for you guys.
Is that AI junkie?
Yeah. Just watch some of his stuff, but
Just arrived.
I'll put that in the chat. Here's the YouTube link for the music to put your headphones on and get dialed in. I don't know. Let me see what you got here, Travis. Nebula. Yeah, I've heard of it. Probably through him.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before, but I don't even know how I came across it, honestly. But I don't think it was through him.
Nebula is an interesting tool. Mike's an interesting dude. We were like one of the first guys on there, and it's I think unless they fixed it in the last year or so, it's tricky I find it a little tricky to get all the results. It was finding results you'd get elsewhere and not, but it would also eliminate a lot of good results too for some reason.
You already used it, Rich?
Okay.
Yeah, I've used it. We were on it a long time, but I actually had him come as a Pinnacle sponsor a couple of times too. He's an nice guy, odd dude though.
Yeah.
You don't recommend it?
Hey Ernie. It's worth it's worth testing out. I think Pin's probably a better product today. Pin.com is better. Nebula's Nebula's it's another tool. You know, it's
Yeah.
not bad, it's not great.
Appreciate it.
You know,
Yeah. I'm curious to see. Well, Rich, how's it going for you?
it's going good, man. I mean, if you, I'm going to build an affiliate with this company I just got off the phone with, so I can't give you the company yet. But this thing's fucking killer. If this thing is as good, I gotta tell you, I don't like. Dom and I talk about this all the time. I don't like when companies don't give me free trials or him a free trial. Like I don't
Yes.
pay a test.
Yes.
You know,
Love
it's usually a bad sign. But the demo I was just on was pretty fucking cool. So Dom, everything we were talking about building out,
Yeah.
done.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course it is. See
Yeah.
what I mean, guys?
Yeah.
The second you think it's
Yeah.
done. Just like I was showing you that I was just telling about Chauffeur's thing. Chauffeur's been building this for a year. He's got the VC money tied up and done.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, but the thing I was just looking at, I mean, the jury's like, it was a shitty demo, quite frankly, but the bones of it are all right there. Like he just was a bad sales guy. But the you know, I'm just like, dude, give me your CEO and I'll get this thing for you and get it sold for you tomorrow. Cause if it can do what they can do, I mean, it's like a wet dream. So,
Yeah.
You know, they say if it's too big, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. I don't know. I totally get it. It's funny though. These companies they got the demos, right? They have these guys that do demos. I'm like, why do they have these people do demos when they're just like,
dude,
no, get me in front of it. I'll do a better demo.
Exactly.
You know how many Rich and I
I'll bring the fire. You know,
Rich, how many demos have we been on? And like, this guy sucks. He has
Oh
no
my
clue what he's talking about.
how do they? And you wonder why they're not selling anything. You know, I mean, there's a lot of great products out there, but it's like they just can't relate. Like, get someone like you or me or Dom or anybody on there.
As someone who plays the sales guys, like Dom and I both place reps, we can attest to how bad the average salesperson is. Like the average sales is a pile of dog crap. It's what makes our job hard. But I tell you, like, and I told this idiot, I was like, listen, there's not a single company I know that has survived that doesn't do free trials. I'm like, if your product is that good, I'm like, he's like, we have 50 users. I'm like, I can get you 50 users by next month. I'm like, I can double your client base, but but they don't charge that much, like $200 a user. Yeah. So I'm like, it's just pro principle, but it's just it's because it's like, what's the point of investing your time into these companies if they're just going to fail anyway?
Well, right. And you know, good point, Rich. If you have somebody that's proven track, that's very successful out there, why the hell are you not throwing licenses out? They do it in golf. Callaway throws golf clubs at people that are on tour. Why do they do that? They're not making them pay for it.
That's it. Like, dude, the amount of people I've sent to pin is ridiculous.
Not only that, it's the feedback though. That's the money. It's like where these ATS platforms today, you want to give them feedback and there's no user groups. They don't listen.
Well, I run the user group for freely and they don't listen. So it's and I don't, not to dominate this thing. I don't know. I've been digging in this week on Recruit with Atlas because I love the owner. I've been talking to him for since last summer. He's awesome as a new ATS. And surprisingly, and if you guys have used it, and Dom, you said you're one of your office guys does, Recruit CRM. Yeah. Shockingly good, except they both have the same flaw. But I don't know if you guys have dug into those at all.
These guys in here use it, so I'm gonna, I gotta ask them more about it after this call.
Yeah.
But they love it, and they know I'm with Loxo, right? And they know I was with Top Echelon, and they went with this one, and they're engineers, so they very thorough, went through it all. And they're like, I love it.
I'm probably leaning towards Recruit with the Atlas just because I have a connection with the owner now that I built. And the Recruit CRM though was pretty surprising. They have a nice matching feature in there, so it's like, hey, I placed this guy. Who else do I have like this guy in my database? Or I think you can even search LinkedIn on that thing. Recruit with the Atlas is building out a similar feature. They already have a matching feature like that, but now they're building out a feature where you can actually, I believe, say, where you say, hey, listen, here's all my hiring managers, or hey, go find me the jobs that they have open, and it'll just automatically alert you. And I think you can do it with the MPC model you were looking for, Dom, as well.
Oh, you want to see something about that, Rich? I'll show you after this. Oh, we'll get on another call. Got that covered.
Yeah, I love it. Well, like this call that I was just on a minute ago, they can be a standalone ATS and campaign management system, or they can tie into your ATS, existing ATS too, and do all this shit. Super fascinating stuff. But it is amazing how fast everything is changing, even the ATS world.
Yeah.
This stuff is like things that are 5-6 years old now are too old.
Daily.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one you did a demo with? They won't give it to us for free. It's called Higher Quoting. It looks amazing. The guy showed us the demo, and I'm like, wow, this would be nice to have. But he won't even let me try it. He's like, I'll give you a 3-month opt out.
Yeah,
$1,500. I go, well, like if you believe in it, why would you not let me try it? But I don't think they need to, because they have BCG, Boston Consulting Group, and I think they're doing shit that is not fully legal yet in certain areas.
Yeah, that I've heard that from a few of these different tools we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then I heard, I don't know, did Don, we talked about this? I heard PCR is going under too. Speaking of falling apart.
Are they?
Yeah, I heard they're out of money.
No.
Hey, Rich, when you talked about Atlas and comparing it to Crelate?
No glasses, Ernie. I haven't seen you in so long. What happened?
Oh, I still have them
I
sometimes.
didn't recognize you. God.
You got a haircut. They cut the back well. Now they won't stay.
This is an hour old. Just after 9 months, it's time to get a haircut.
I love it.
But you were a Crelate person. We did Loxo.
Yep.
And now you're talking about Atlas, and now you got me thinking about, okay, what about Atlas? So,
well, you mentioned my name with Atlas, and I do have a referral link for Recruit CRM.
Yeah, you can put it in that chat, Rich.
Yeah.
In the chat.
I'll do it because it's with Recruit with Atlas. Just mention my name. Those guys are great. But they're this is the problem with both of them right now. Just so you all know, they're both. They're European. Well, I think Recruit CRM is, I think,
India.
India. Yeah, it's India. So, but all the European, Middle Eastern ones are looking at the same problem. They use Twilio. They don't use Ring Central, for instance, or they use WhatsApp. And give me 1 second. They use WhatsApp or Twilio for texting. So if you're a big texter, it becomes a problem. Either you got to get another number, or you have to, or you've got to, you can text one at a time. But from what I heard, and maybe you guys use Twilio, I don't. They make you do a double opt-in, where like Ernie would have to, basically you'd have to prove that Ernie said it's okay to text them. And I don't know.
They have those laws, the European laws make it very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's when I've heard some stuff about Atlas, is that they're having issues with how their security on their data is. Somebody had mentioned that the other day. I didn't look into it, but the way that the security laws are in Asia, India, and Europe is that all that double opt-in stuff is important.
Yeah, so it's I haven't used it, so as far as the Twilio stuff. Ring Central, you got to sign this big form ahead of time. So as we've all signed, but yeah, I mean for the money, it's nothing.
Rich, what's all this under? So you get the $125 a month.
Yeah.
You got this one or Pro. Well, then you got to pay for all these separate.
It gets expensive quick.
Well,
the demo too.
It doesn't. It's not really that expensive. I mean, because you're getting a lot of different things. I mean, you don't really need the extra stuff unless you really want to do like job posting on boards, which I think it's useless. The workflow automation, that stuff they're building out. I don't really understand why you would actually need it, because I don't believe there's anything in there that you need done per se. Like, if you wanted to build out a very specific workflow in terms of, hey, I get an MPC, do this, maybe. But my guess is there's actually kind of ways to do it on your own too. But even still, if it's that useful a thing for you, I mean, 800, what, $400 $500 a year, for 1,000 tasks, it looks like. And again, to me, everything's negotiable, right? So,
Of course.
this is the starting price. No offense, especially it's India, so everything's negotiable. The LinkedIn
Like
messaging,
show us your for this right here. Like, look at that. I already have it here too.
the LinkedIn messaging is actually pretty cool for Recruit CRM. You can actually, for $12.50, you can tie right into the LinkedIn and message from your database, which is pretty slick.
Do you think they pay to play to have that access?
They did. They definitely paid. With Atlas, you can record your messages, like using their LinkedIn widget or the Chrome extension. You can write a note in LinkedIn and then click the Recruit Atlas widget, and then it will record that in your database. It's funny. I'm literally testing. I have 3 different databases up in my screen right now, so I'm literally testing all 3 at once. And Crelate.
You still using Crelate though?
I'm still using Crelate. Listen, I like Crelate a lot. Like, the people there are dynamite. The problem with them, their last release was such a fucking disaster. And I don't think they handled it well, and their releases generally are bad. So they just have horrible QA, which is typical Microsoft. And, Aaron, who's the founder, who's a great, great guy, he came from he was a senior developer for Microsoft. So the problem with Crelate is it's a really good program. I think it's better than most, but it's not staying current with the AI. And they're supposedly have a big AI feature update coming out, but I don't know when. And candidly, and maybe this sounds cheap and stupid, they're not giving me their Copilot product right now, which their Copilot thing sucks that they have anyway. So they were going to give me for the $10 a month. I'm like, for $10 a month, just give it to me for free. So just out of principle, because I do so much for them. And I'm like, now it pissed me off. So, not that.
Yeah.
Do you have, hey, Rich, do you have issues? A lot of Crelate people I've talked to, issues with when you send emails from Crelate, especially bulk emails, the text and fonts are all messed up spacing wise.
That was an old problem. I don't have that problem.
Okay.
I have Crelate. I don't have that problem either.
Yeah, it was an old problem that they took a little time to figure out. But don't get me wrong. Listen, Crelate's a really good program. It's very easy to use. You can do a tremendous amount of things if you use it right. But now they're playing catch up on the AI stuff, I find, and I think Luxo is too.
They all have their issues. All of them have issues.
All of them have issues.
Yeah, it's like everybody. There's always someone coming up with a better deal, and you always see things. And then, but what's not said is the whole process of learning a new ATS.
But so this is the trick to that, Ernie. Though, like I've changed ATSs, I don't know, half a dozen times probably, and I've looked at every single ATS out there. There's another one, Team Taylor, that I'm looking at too, but which is more too. I think it's overpriced, but it's pretty good though. First of all, you run a demo with these guys until you know how to use every aspect of the program. You get free training. There's no point of paying for training. Number one. So, and two, you're gonna, so by the time you go live in it, you've already used every feature of it that you're going to use. You're going to run a full job cycle, a full interview cycle. You're going to run a candidate from A to Z. Exactly. You're going to run an actual search. You're going to do it in parallel, so it's all going in your regular database. So it's a bit of a nightmare. But listen, it shouldn't be that difficult if you're moving. Like with Recruit Atlas, that thing saves me an hour a night just by being on that platform, because every email, not just the email, if you want, I can show you.
Yeah, let's see it.
I think this is a pretty slick feature.
Just like this though, Tom was way better at demoing Loxo than anyone at Loxo.
Most likely.
By far.
Oh yeah.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Let's see, make sure I'm finding the right screen that you guys are on then. All right, here we go. So this is really cool. So it's like this guy, let's see. So this dude, I don't believe I did anything. This guy, I think if I'm correct, this guy I got an email from it built the whole LinkedIn profile. Hover over this, tells you what the company is. Here's all the keywords. Here's the tags for AI. If you want to say, hey, is this guy good for an AE role? Ask AI question.
Oh, that's perfect right there.
It records all the conversations. So, like, people better not steal my candidates here. So like this guy.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah. So I got to roll for it.
You gotta roll.
So listen. So here's a salary report. You know where it got this information from? It pulls it automatically out of your phone conversation. All right.
Yeah.
So now think about it. You
So
got
now when you're
50,000 people. I can just do my own salary survey, just my own database, putting the title in, and stage company, whatever you want.
are you calling, Rich? Are you calling from this platform? Then you just hit the number and it starts dialing, or what?
Yeah, you can call from this platform. It records everything, but like in this case, I actually didn't call from this platform. I actually called from Crelate, but since I have them both tied to Ring Central, it still picks it up. I just had to go tie the guy's name to it on the second call.
So you're paying Ring Central and you're doing the AI person too, which is like another $30, which actually takes your call from
No.
voice to text, or no?
No, I don't pay extra for that. That's included. On Ring
Okay,
Central.
I thought there was two module. I thought the voice
Nah,
system was like 30, and then the AI is another $30.
Nah,
Maybe I'm wrong by that.
This is going to sound like a theme you're trying to pick up on. But just call Ring Central and say, "Listen, I'm not paying for that." All right.
Okay,
And
perfect.
usually they'll.
Everybody say it together. I'm not
Yeah.
paying for that.
Yeah, I mean it's like
We're
cell
calling it
phone.
Ring Central, and we're not paying for that.
Yeah, you guys should get on calls with Dom and I. It's very funny. But you can just Ring Central, they'll lower your fee. They'll do everything for you. I mean, I don't even know what I pay for it anymore. But no, all that AI is built to Atlas, and actually, to be honest, Recruit also has it. Recruit CRM has like their AI. I haven't figured theirs out as easily, but you can also they have a lot of big AI features in here too.
Are they basing it off of ChatGPT, or is it Claude or any others?
I think they're all based on ChatGPT.
Okay.
Rich, if you had to pick today, which one would you go with today? It has whatever they have. Would you go Atlas?
Well, I would probably go Atlas, one, because I can have more influence, to be totally honest with you. I think they're building out some cool things. No offense to anyone that's Indian. I don't love Indian-based companies for a whole bunch of reasons. So I'm not opposed to Recruit CRM, because I think that really I did a podcast with them a long time ago. Man, they came super far in where they've been in the last couple of years.
I did a dial with them 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Loxo was better at the time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Loxo
would join
for the last 10 years.
I would join Atlas in a heartbeat.
You would, Tom?
Loxo went away. Atlas is a major up-and-comer. I think it has a lot to offer.
100%. Like, they have a whole BD feature, so you can find prospects to your jobs and stuff. You can actually create, you'll love this, Dom. You can create this is basically an AI engine right here. This magic column. Give it the name, tell it how you want to score things.
Oh, man.
Here's the score. You can set it all up. So, like,
I like the fact that if an email comes through and someone says, "Hey, let's talk Wednesday at 4:00," and I don't catch it, it puts a thing on my calendar that says, "Call Rich at 4:00 on Wednesday."
Yeah, I mean, it's so slick. Like, and they have your Kanban that you like, Tom, too. But like the fact that like every night I spend like an hour plus going through fucking email, adding it to Crelate. Like, my son sends me an email, trust me.
Why do you gotta add it?
What?
Why do you
Because
have to
he's
add
not
it?
sending. He's probably not sending it from Crelate.
Yeah, I'm not sending it from Crelate, but say like Ty, that's my son. He wasn't in my database. All right, for instance.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
like, I didn't put him into a demo database for obvious reasons. So, so I wasn't putting him into a demo database, but it saw his email in my inbox. So it created this whole thing. which is
That's
pretty
huge.
wild.
That's huge
Right?
because
That's
how many
pretty cool.
times you get referred by somebody else in another company and they send you an email, but
Yeah.
they're not in your database. Then you got to go scrape it. And it takes what, 15 minutes out of your time, and next
Yeah,
thing
it's
you
a
know,
pain
you're
in the
chasing a
ass.
squirrel.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's like, and then think if you've got a VA and he's like, oh, I don't know what Cornerstone does. Oh, wait, well, you still don't. But if you go, you don't know what Camp Kenwood is. Well, listen, now you just hover over it. Like you don't have to go research it. It
That's
just
awesome.
makes life super easy.
What if we could do this? You're on a call with a candidate and you say, add Rich to my MPC campaign, supply chain tech companies, and then it goes in there and it automatically creates an outbound sequence right from there, just based on that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? I'm trying to think. Did Team Taylor do that? Team Taylor, I was demoing this one too.
Never heard of Team Taylor.
Yeah, it's more. You can use it as an agency. They kind of gear it. The guy's telling me that it's for companies, but you can gear it for. I don't know if I know my password anymore.
It's like Gem.
Is it like Gem? Like, have you tried?
I mean, like, yeah, it's more geared towards, like you were saying, Rich. It's more geared towards,
Company.
you know, in-house, big recruiting team, stuff like that. I didn't demo it, but I read up some on it. It's not bad at all. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Is that, are you a recruiter? Are you a headhunter? Are you staffing? Are you in-house? Like all these ATSs, you know, they can't be everything. So figure out what it does best for your industry, your, you know, if you're staffing or if you're permanent placement, if you're executive search, like so I wouldn't use Loxo if I did staffing, right?
Yeah, agree.
Like, makes sense.
Right.
What's good for your potential need? You know, to me, like these are some of the best ones out there, but we're gonna see such an evolution in the next 5 years. So it's gonna be interesting. So the good thing is too, we're like Luxo and Crelate are charging a lot for integration to import your stuff, your database, which is insane. I don't know how much
when you switch, you mean?
Yeah. So
that's a serious issue.
Yeah. So, but we're Recruit with Atlas and Recruit CRM. You can do all self mapping, and then if you have a normal database, it's not that hard. They walk you through it, and then if you have 100,000 records, I think Recruit with Atlas, if you wanted to do bring everything over, all your notes, all your stuff, it was like $3,500 before you had negotiated for 100,000 records, which I'm guessing most of us don't have that much. So,
but it's crazy because why can't that be a free service? I mean, I hate to say it, you're bringing a customer in. It's like, you want your data, we'll give it to you. Here, it's out.
But you know,
you're quitting our services.
This is the reason why.
It makes it difficult.
This is the reason why. When you're a onesie twosie user, these guys aren't making that much money off of us, you know. And so I used to fight it also, and fuck, I still fight it, to be honest with you. But the end of the day is, you know, when you have a company at scale and you've got 10 or 15 plus users, then it becomes more of a moneymaker. These ATSs, I mean, they struggle to really make a lot of money, like in my opinion, because the cost of having one user is not as profitable. It's not like, hey, you're paying $800. Like, I mean, what's Crelate or Luxo, $1,000 a year or something like that? You know, it's not like they're making
give or take. Yeah, give or take.
And even if they are making $1,000, that is nothing to run a business on. So,
right.
Rich, do you have when you're doing all this? One of my fears is that one day Loxo will disappear. You know, just and I'm stuck with nothing. Do you run like a backup ATS or anything else that?
No, but I do have. I mean, I back up Crelate every month religiously. You know, you know, you got to be backing your data up, because as long as you have a backup of it, and it should be in a CSV file or some extractable file that you can transfer someplace else. Some softwares, you got to be careful, because some softwares do back their stuff up in some weird code that is not really useful.
Because I know with Loxo, they'll give you phone numbers, but I think when they have a phone number that they have found for you, they will not pass that on to you. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So you're allowed 500 per month sourced, that you pulled out a Loxo source with contact info via CSV. But you're right. If you rely on Loxo source to get all your data and you go to leave, you are going to be fucked 2 ways till Sunday.
Which that I mean, and this is not to bash Luxo, but that's the stuff I hate about Luxo is, Matt likes to control your data, and that scares the crap out of me. That's the reason one of the major reasons I never went with Luxo.
Well, if you look at some of these bigger players like Salesforce, I've had experience working with Salesforce, for about 10 years. Those guys, you can dump anything you want out of there.
Yeah.
Anytime you can export everything in there.
Yep.
Now, from a CRM, Salesforce is there. There's a lot of companies that are building ATS systems off of Salesforce.
Oh yeah, used to be 8
now as a module.
Ones,
And then with that, you can do DocuSign. They got a whole marketplace. They got over 9,000 apps on the marketplace. Whatever the hell you want to do.
Crelate built a marketplace out as well, but I mean, candidly, they're kind of shot themselves in the foot though, because they're charging the vendors 20% of the fee. So if you pay them if you pay whatever, like DocuSign $100 a month, they're charging DocuSign $20 a month.
If
use it through
if you were to switch over to Atlas, what would be your opinion the price you should be paying? Because some of these companies, they give you different prices. You go all over the place and you add on, you do this.
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, to me, if you're paying around 100, anywhere from 100 $150, I think is pretty reasonable. I mean, because again, none of us want to pay any money, but you don't want these guys to go out of business either.
Yeah.
And there's a balancing act. I mean, everyone thinks our services are expensive, right?
Right.
They're not. It's a huge value. And these ATSs, if you use it properly, it's a huge value. Would I pay, $300 or $400 a month for one? Probably not, because we can all figure out how to work on a different solution that's going to be probably 95% as effective.
What about the customer service? How do you rate that?
So far, I find their customer at Atlas, I find them pretty excellent, because I mean, I'm on a Slack channel with these guys. Like if I email their kind of sales engineer or whatever help, he's on me, within an hour usually, if not sooner. I haven't really tested the Recruit CRM guys out yet, to be honest with you. Again, like my clients and like Crelate, I work with clients I like, which is a big difference. And I like to support vendors I like, so like when I find good tools like this kind of stuff that's going to help like sales guys, I'll start putting on my LinkedIn site as a little free ad for them. I have them write the ad up. It's a good value add for everyone. Maybe I got a referral fee for some of them, maybe I don't. But I just like to support good people. It just makes life a lot easier. And that's what if I'm going to put my database in someone's hands, I want to know the CEO. I want to know who this guy is and what's he all about.
Rich, do you use this Atlas platform for your CRM over what we have inside of Crelate?
No, I'm still just testing this stuff out. Like I'm just I learned myself pretty quickly. Like I've been looking at it, working with Jordan for like a year now, but I'm really getting deep into it and serious about it in the last week.
Yeah, because I feel like the Crelate CRM is really cumbersome. Like I don't like the workflows there. I love the other side of it, but the workflows for development is like.
Yeah, you know what? So I don't even use it. So what I do in that, are you solo or do you have a team or what's your setup?
I have a team, but mostly for business development, it's me.
All right. So this is what I do, and maybe it works for a team, maybe not. So I basically build like an old MRI term. I basically build a sod job out. Like exactly. All the good MRI people, right? That's how old I am now. So I build a job called like NPC job or whatever, or AI jobs, AI sales jobs, whatever. And I put all my hiring managers that I want to go after in that job.
Okay.
And then now I just use that list, my pipeline list, and I use Outplay to do my campaign, right? And do my email campaign. So it just treats it the same way as a marketing job. But I mean, now I have to remember what pipeline is and interview one is. I don't really need to change it too much, because once I get the hiring manager on the phone, I get my job order, it just turns to a job, a real job, so that's how I use it. I don't ever use the BD side of, or the new opportunity thing, or whatever they call it. I think they kind of screwed that up personally.
Yeah, that part I don't like at all. And so I've been exploring, like, we've been using like HubSpot, and I've tried a couple other things like to see if I can narrow down a better user-friendly business development workflow. And so that's why I was really interested in this Atlas that you're showing me, because it does look pretty user-friendly.
Super user-friendly. And like I said, I'm just figuring out the BD side of it too. I haven't played much with it, but it really does a lot of other cool things. You can even create reports for you, so you can do like a nice candidate presentation. It's pretty
Do they have a mobile app at all yet, or no? I know a lot of these people lag mobile apps, and they're just not functional at all. It's
these guys both those companies have mobile apps for sure.
Okay.
'Cause
I'll tell you, it's nice because you're always working on a tablet. You might be on vacation or heading out, and it's nice to grab a tablet and figure out what's going down instead of ripping your phone up or laptop.
What in any of these programs, Rich? I mean, one of the big things that people always complain about is the lack of a process to do a proper MPC. You got a job, fine. You do an MPC, it's a little difficult to figure out within a system. Do you do MPCs, number one, and number two, is there any any ATS that you would recommend?
I mean, for an MPC, like for Crelate, I just tag them as an MPC, and then I do the same thing. Like I just mentioned, I create the job. Hey, here's everyone I want to send this guy to. And then I'll do a mass mail and say, listen, I've got this guy who's done X, Y, and Z. Listen, hey, let me know if you can use him.
And that's what I was thinking. If somebody were to say, you know what, we got a job, and then we have MPCs as another process, and you could use the same process or whatever, but if you could separate them a little bit.
But why? But
do
you really need to separate them too much when you think about it?
Well, in the sense that I think you would, in the sense that you have a different audience you're going at, and then once that MPC is found, then it becomes a job.
So you're saying, so maybe I misunderstood. Are you saying you have an MPC, or you're looking to find
you're creating a system for an MPC. You identify a candidate you want to put out to 20 different things, and you can do it as a job. Yes.
Yeah.
But then your titles and everything else, you have to kind of like.
But you don't have to. But why do you have to do that?
Because you get confused, and I get confused.
No. But listen. If you create a job, and if you create a job that's called like MPC Ernie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in that job is all the people that fit Ernie, right?
Right.
Now here's 50 hiring managers that I added to that job in the pipeline. So now that instead of my candidate going after, I'm going after these people as clients. It's the same call. It's the same story. It's just saying, hey, send me a check instead of send me a resume.
So don't confuse it. Don't make it too complicated.
Yeah, I mean that's the story of recruiting. Recruiting is not hard. People overcomplicate it, overthink it, try to be perfect, and fuck it up. It's a lot more fun. So
yeah, you know what? I love it.
So
yeah, fuck it up is right. There's so many times.
It's a whole lot more fun, isn't it?
It is.
That should be the tagline for it right there. Fuck it up and have more fun.
The bottom line, there's nothing that you can break that you can't fix.
I mean, but think about it. If you piss someone off in recruiting because you're just I'm not trying to be a jerk, what's the worst that happens? The guy's still not going to pay you? Okay. I mean, I've told this story before, but like I had made a cold call to a prospective client, The guy was a complete a-hole. All right. And it was a couple months go by. It was before Thanksgiving. I'm like, all right, let me just practice this new opener out on him. Like, well, the guy's a jerk. So what do I care, right? So I call the guy up and I pitch him. We had a great conversation. We talked for like a while. And I remember because I was like, dude, I got to tell you, can I just tell you, I called you back today? I called you today. And he's like, I know you had a good candidate. I'm like, I do. But that wasn't the reason. It was really just to practice this other bullshit line I was trying to work on. I'm like, but you were such an asshole, and I talked to you the first time that I figured I'd just test it on you because I had nothing to lose. This guy,
and he probably loved you for that.
He did.
Loved you.
Listen, this guy not only became one of my absolute best clients, he's probably my second most profitable client. He came to work for me, even.
Oh,
wow.
God.
And then his neighbor came to work for me at one point.
See?
Oh my God.
So you just never know. You have nothing to lose. If you guys heard how many fucking calls I screw up after 30 years, you would
Every day, bro.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Oh, every day.
Every day, Tommy. I mean, absolutely. You call someone,
Yeah,
you're like,
we do. Yeah, we're not perfect.
no.
I stumble over words all the time. Man, I
All the
fucked up
time.
a huge client by accident because I was arrogant, didn't do the research I should have done.
Yeah.
That's how
Who
I'm talking to
accidentally
this guy
sends
about. I'm talking to this guy about WMS. They're a YMS company. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do there? He's like, yeah, you don't. That wouldn't be a good fit for what we do. I go, oh shit, no wonder.
Yeah. Listen, we all do it. I got to tell you, my worst. This is my worst flub. This was a double embarrassment, to be honest with you. I sent it. I did it on these NPC emails like I was talking about to you guys. Basically, I set this group up as this a particular client pool that are all tied to my best client. All right, they're all like known to this guy. The first email I sent out, I forget what error was in it. Sent a follow-up email out with an even bigger error in it. I said the third one, I'm like, listen, I apologize. I'll give you 20% off the placement if you want to work with me. It's like, what can I do? I'm like, whatever. Some days it's just not meant to be. You need more Ritalin,
Yeah.
Dude,
you know what?
I did
Tell me
similar.
about it.
I sent out I never do mass emails, right? I don't do campaigns, right? But I decided to do it to like the top 50 metal building erectors, contractors in the US. And someone called me back and I didn't recognize a name because they usually go by their initials. So I didn't research them or anything. I get a Teams call they scheduled. They asked me if I knew a lot about their company. I said no, right? And all of a sudden it turned out it was second largest erector, metal building contractor in the United States. I embarrassed myself so bad. I never got it. And I'll probably call him back eventually. But man, you want to talk about fucking up, which could have got an extra 150 grand a year in business.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago, or a year ago.
But you know what? You remember it. I remember my fuck ups. These guys have no clue. We were
Right.
Basically.
So I was doing campaigns on a lot.
You talk to a candidate and you just shoot it out there. Say this is Ernie Moreno, and they go, "Oh, hey, bro, how you doing? I remember you," and I have no idea who the hell they are.
Yeah.
But the memory.
I was doing that. You know how to do first name in your campaign when you're creating templates, right? Well, Loxo uses a different format. It's first underscore name, right? And I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
so
no.
I used to use an AI. So it literally said first name, and I was like, oh shit. My whole campaign of like 5 emails was like, hi, first name. And I was like,
oh yeah.
But it was great. The people that responded, I'm telling you, they don't even pay attention to what the hell I write. All they look is a salary and position. But it's funny to how
doing stuff like that and like my screw up too. A lot of times you just write "oops" on the follow up to it, and you'll get a huge response from it.
Yeah.
Just tell them I did it on purpose.
Yeah, seriously. Like now that I got your attention,
Yeah.
Oh.
Just to see if
Now
your
that I got
AI
your
will
attention,
reply.
first name.
Well, and they were saying, is this supposed to go to me? And I'm like, I don't know. It's supposed to go to first name, I guess.
So that program I was doing earlier, their program will actually automatically respond to anyone that reaches out or follows up. You can have it, apparently, according to this guy, we'll see if it's true, follow up not only with just an email, but with asking questions. Or the AI will all write the whole thing, or it'll even follow up with an AI call. And go through the questions with them. So And this was pretty.
I'd have to hear the call.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've heard some of them. Some of them that they're just a half a second too slow in the response.
Yeah.
But I think it's great for staff work, like entry level stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, this would be like FU, I think. But
yeah,
it's just interesting because eventually we're gonna be there.
Oh, we are. Check out Tenzo AI. That's my buddy from Stanford. Where he was 3 years ago.
And in labs too.
It is night and day from where he was at.
Yeah, because what was there? Was like Air Call was one of them, or Air something?
Yeah, this is him.
They were selling. They were selling like franchises to it, basically.
Yeah, kind of like well, what does Ringba do? Kind of similar, right? Or no?
Now Ringba, I'm talking to Hexamit too. They're doing theirs is even crazier. They basically just funnel. I don't. I'm like
it's
you. I don't
nuts, dude. Rich, he's told me 10 times. I still don't understand.
Yeah, I recorded because we talked on Tuesday. We're gonna talk again this afternoon. He's looking for something kind of interesting too, though, but it's different, like out of our niche, really. But I have someone for him. But they basically all the phone numbers that come in, all the people that call 1-800 lawyer or whatever, it knows to funnel those things, and they get a piece of every call. It's insane how much.
These guys make so much money.
Yeah,
I think I showed you guys this before, but yeah, Eric by Inside Man, he was showing me like pennies across them, and these guys are making millions. Where the CEO guy of a fucking helicopter go to dinner because he doesn't want to wait in traffic. So like that kind of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helicopter? No.
Yeah. There's only one? God,
Probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He actually called me earlier. I got to call him back. Probably tell me he's talking to you today.
Yeah. We talked. We talked either in the last week, or early this week, and then we're gonna finish up today. And I think I actually ran across a guy for him because he's not looking for the standard rep. He's looking for guys that were like in the industry, like home builders or.
Yeah. The other thing, guys, in this group, everyone in this group, like sometimes we can all help each other. Like I'm slammed right now with the roles we're on. Like Rich just happened to have a little break, right? So we can help each other and pass this one. Boom, Joe, you're in SaaS sales roles, right? At ERP, Rich has a lot of ERP roles.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if there's any way to collaborate with you guys on some open positions, things are slow on my end a little bit right now. So, but I do have some good SaaS enterprise sellers.
If you have any good pre-sales people out west, I need a DevOps, FinOps pre-sales guy.
I do have some pre-sales people. They're pretty ERP specific, NetSuite focused.
Yeah, no. If you have any in Mountain View, I may be able to use one of them. I can use. I mean, I could. Yeah, because I can use an SDR. I can use an enterprise rep with ERP in kind of this, San Jose, Mountain View area, as well as the Northeast.
Okay.
But they got to be hunters. They got to be total balls to the wall hunters.
Rich,
yeah.
If I gave you my Loxo login, Rich, you could go through here and probably find 20 of them.
Oh, dude, I love you.
But here's where I need help. I have two. The CEO reached out to me today. He goes, Dom, can you help me on 2 senior full stack developers? I don't know shit about that role.
Mm-mm.
But if any of you guys do, let me know. It's 200 to 250K base.
Where are they out of, Dom?
I don't know. He's supposed to call me any second.
Okay.
It's a good search to run through Pin, Dom. I can give you my access to Pin. You can jump in there and run through it, and then have AK or someone call him.
Yeah, he's the best. He's had a great week.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
The interesting thing I'll say here is, what you hear here is a big plus to why you jump on these programs. There are a lot of people just stay on the sideline and never talk. The fact that like Troy or Rich or Tom or all you guys, you can call each other up and you create this relationship that would not exist had it not been for this program like this.
Yeah.
And, I talk to a lot of you guys more than I talk to my family.
On a good day.
Yeah. It's between Tom, Rich, Ernie, Tim, all you guys, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, very cool. Hey, I was just looking at this because I had Lovable up, you guys too. If you're Claude.ai will now build really good websites. They just came out with a new update. So it basically you don't even need Lovable anymore if you want to do
Even Gemini will do that too.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? That whole all those web
I know.
developers are gonna go bye-bye.
They're all
Manus, man,
screwed.
Manus is the bomb for that. The website Manus built me is just absolutely breathtaking.
I gotta tell
Tom,
you,
can you share your screen? I still pay for Manus. I haven't been using it enough. What are you doing with Manus right now?
Oh, so we're still trying to get that Linktify thing off the ground. So hold on.
I gotta tell you that don't you guys? I don't worry about a lot of theft because people are gonna steal our shit. They're gonna steal our shit. Hang on.
Remember, I said I took yours, and then I just
Yeah.
kept adding and adding and adding, and I changed it completely. So this is it right now. I still have to fix some stuff. So this is page 1, right? And then
So
I
your
asked that I
landing
wanted
page.
drop downs of different pages. So
Yeah, this is not like this is what people are paying. There's a guy, an executive I work with. I told you this, Tom. He paid $3,000 to have his LinkedIn profile optimized. I showed him my screen and go, look what in 3 seconds I'll have it done
yeah,
for you.
and then this website, like this, when I did it, I started with yours. I don't know if it still has the so the one that you did on Wing Workforce.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then this is what it made for me. If it still shows it, let me see if it shows it. Yeah, so it did this all on one page, right? Which I didn't like, and that's why I started adding more stuff to it, and finally got down and said I wanted it to do. I kept asking stuff. Can you change
So
the coloring?
do this too, Tom. Go into Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT. Basically say, create me a prompt for Manus and then type what you're trying to do. And then it will do.
Yeah.
And here's another cool tool that you guys should check out. It's number 2 in productivity. It's called Whisper Flow. I literally hit my function button and I can talk right into it and it will pick up exactly what I'm trying to do. WISPR. Yeah, that one. Insane.
So
Okay.
they're adding voice to text, like voice commands in Atlas, and I believe Recruit CRM, where you can just say, find me an ERP rep in New York.
Are they?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean you can ask. Sonus does that. Cortex by Sonus. You can say,
Oh, yeah,
find me all the developer reps in New York City that have a background in ERP and XYZ and PDQ, and it'll pull up people for you. It's kind of, I mean, the stuff that Replit, the friggin' apps that I built with Replit for my daughter and for me are, again, I just sit there and talk and say, oh, this doesn't work, fix it, and it fixes it. It's kind of wild.
I'm gonna try that with my wife. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Fix it. See what she does.
Yeah.
And that was the last we heard of him.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the end.
He's in the hospital now.
Yes.
No, that's very
So
cool.
what does this do, Dom?
Which one? Whisper? Instead of you typing or even talking, anything, you just hit the button, boom, it will translate it. Just try the free version right now.
I am. I'm downloading it right now, but like
It works in
on my Mac.
ChatGPT, anything. Instead of typing anything too, and then it will say. Tobias is the one that showed me this. That's why I was just like, all right, Tobias, what do I do with this thing? There's too much here going on. He's like, I'm at 158 words per minute. I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? He goes, just start playing around with it.
Dom, spell the site.
Whisper Flow.
Yeah, WISPR Flow. But it's number 2 in productivity tools right now.
And effortless voice dictation. Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have that with my app, my Mac, right? I just hit the control button twice, and I can talk on any box. I do it on all the typing my models. I do it for emails. I do it. Shit, that's what I was saying. Like when I built that cold call cheat sheet, I just sat here and talked for 10 minutes about everything I knew about cold calling, rebuttals, overcoming objections, pitches. And then once it was all that giant word of text, I said, okay, create me a cold call cheat sheet from this.
Well, it's
fun. It's a great point. Let me ask him why he would say to go with this.
Yeah, because looking at most of these apps that it's showing that it uses, they all have a mic built into it anyway. On a phone or So it seems like a great way to spend your money.
If you have a Mac, right, you go over here. Like here's the thing, and you go to.
Hey, Tom, you know how I told you I went to a PC.
Yeah.
I migrated back to my Mac. I couldn't take it anymore.
Oh
Like
man,
having
my fucking my calendar thing for next year. I gotta cancel it.
Dude, I find
You went back to a Mac, Rich, or you're going away?
I did. I went back to my Mac. I went back to my.
I'm just starting to get used to it.
The Mac, I love it. Listen, I feel like a PC. It's like waking up with a psycho girlfriend every morning. You just never know what fucking thing went wrong. It's like literally every morning. It's like, oh, this didn't connection broke, or
You're
this
saying
like.
and that's a bad thing?
Yeah, well, it all depends what you're into. You know.
I love it.
So right here, guys, if you have dictation, right, and you can pick all the stuff you want. I have a keyboard shortcut for it. My input sources, right? So I press Control key twice, okay, and it auto punctuation for me and everything, right? So once you enable this, okay, then I'll show you. I won't be able to hear you guys, but let's just go here, right here, where I was looking for Loxo. If I'm gonna hit my control thing twice. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain, period. I can type anything I want as long as I want. I can talk and talk and talk, and it will take everything down and do everything for me. And you can see it's going in the bar right there.
Wait, Tom, where is that? That's in settings where?
That's it.
Dictation.
Right? So go to settings.
Yeah.
In the settings bar, type in dictation, and you can use it anywhere, right? You can use it in notes. You can use it in Word documents, right? If you open up a Word document, even though it's Microsoft.
That's a great point. Like, I would love to ask Tobias why he thinks this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can throw that in ChatGPT and organize it for you, right? Or
Yeah,
any
like
of these AI tools,
this
right?
is a Word doc. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain, period. What is the best way to type text with Mac? Should I be using this or should I be using something else? Why are you putting punctuations?
Wow.
Well, and Apple's
And
actually
look, it does the punctuations too.
they've increased more capabilities in their notes now than they ever have. You know, like I know you can always email, but you can add videos, you can add photos, you can do a lot more in
Notes
notes.
keeps getting better too, and the fact that notes, notes,
Notes are great.
syncs with my phone and with my iPad. So all my stuff is anywhere I go. If I want to go on a trip, I grab my iPad, open it up, and everything is right there.
Yep.
You guys know how the guy started DeepSeek, right? He stole the code from Google by taking a picture on his notes and walked out of Google, went to China, and started that, and then they couldn't figure it out for 3 months. That's how he did it.
That's
through the notes. He screenshotted it on the notes.
That's right.
Isn't that crazy? You want to listen to the best podcast, and it might scare you guys, some of you, but this is about where AI is heading.
Which podcast?
Sean Ryan with the CEO of Scale AI. Like, I think it's a must listen to because it can go to everything that we're doing. Here's the here.
Sean Ryan show, or what's it called?
Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. The best podcast I've probably listened to in a long time.
I will say that Founders podcast is like crack. I'm already.
Oh yeah,
I 15 of that one.
Told you.
But you know what? It's funny. I fell asleep. I was lying on the sun and I fell asleep on my deck, just listening to it. And I fell asleep. But it was like listening to the whole thing. It was the one thing everyone has in common. The whole theme is basically those who are successful do what others don't do what the others don't want to do.
But they also, in every one of them, what do you notice? It's all about finding the best talent.
Yeah.
You know, and throwing yourself with the best talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, not being a guy that knows it all, but being find the guy that does, and then always bettering yourself. I mean, that's right. It's the you know, it just people make such classic mistakes. It's you know, but usually when it comes to like recruiters and sales, it's just these people just don't want to do what needs to be done. They all just they're like, why aren't I successful? It's like, well, you made 4 phone calls. You know, you didn't send 3 emails. You overthought everything. You know.
Yes.
So
Yeah. You probably get these calls too, Rich, and I get them every day. It's like, oh yeah, I'm looking to leave. It's slow. I'm not making it. Well, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how many calls are you're going through? Are you networking? Are you going to events? Oh no, I just yeah, it's the
Didn't
same
hang up
story
on
with
you.
every single one. But the top salespeople that I talk to, they know it's a tough market, but they're gonna find a way to win, build their pipeline, get it going, right? And then when that time hits, boom. But a lot of people are going to be looking to make a move right now because it's in the second quarter. They're getting their commission checks, and now it's time to make a move. So I got to hurry up and find them a spot before while their commission checks come. Like one guy just placed $1.6 million commission check, closed a $116 million deal. That's a pretty damn good check.
All right, I got to hop, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Buck.
Yeah, I'm launching that lead magnet later today. If you guys have time to give me some feedback, I'd really appreciate it. 'Cause it's my first one. So
Awesome.
talk to y'all later.
Good one. Yeah, Buck's he's putting in the work. He's putting all that stuff. I see his videos out there, and I think he is getting frustrated, but it's like that stuff will come. It will follow.
To that point, Dom, I just
Andy, you're here.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Had a nice
How you
4-week
been?
vacation. Good. I had a 4-week vacation in Europe, so been kind of MIA. No, to his point, or to your point, and I wish I'll text Bucks, but when I launched I reached out. A guy reached out to me for resume help, and I just gave him a quick 15 minutes. And then yesterday, he introduced me to his head of HR where he landed, and I just sent a $70,000 invoice.
Good
I mean,
shit.
it took 7 months, and I talked to him maybe once or twice during that 7 months.
But he
yeah,
remembers you.
he remembered
You helped
me.
him.
Kindness. Yep. Had a conversation. $70K.
Amazing. That's what it's all about right there.
Yep.
But yeah, like what Tom's building, it's still saving them money instead of going to some of these other big firms that cost you $1,500 to $3,000 to optimize your LinkedIn. The one executive I know spent $8,000 on his resume and LinkedIn profile. And I go, are you kidding me?
It's insane. I talked to a guy yesterday who got quoted about $8K, and the recruiter guaranteed to find him a job. I'm like, bro, you're being scammed.
100%.
I'm like, I don't know about any of you guys, but I would never charge a candidate money to get placed.
Some do. They have that's their business model, like Challenger, Crispin and Gray. That's their business model. They charge the company.
Outsourcing
blah, blah, blah.
is different. Though.
Yeah.
It's illegal. I mean, you can't, unless you're doing an actual career service, like you're going to charge $8K for resume writing. You're not even allowed to do it. It's illegal to charge them for hiring, shall we say?
Yeah.
To the candidate sides.
What about that JobRight.ai?
Someone, I was talking to another candidate yesterday, and he was telling me one guy said it would be 10% of his first year salary. I'm like, what are you, a fucking sports agent? Like, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. Wow. That's beautiful. Oh, fuck. Hey, guys, I got to hop. I didn't realize 22. All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Enjoy.
Appreciate it. I'll call you after. Rich.
Please. All right, bud. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, Ernie, I think you were saying it last time, but that is how Rich is all day, every day. Just nonstop. All day, every day. Tom, you know that. See
what?
How he is. He's the same way all day. Ernie brought it up last week, and I'm like, yeah, he's like that every time I talk to him.
But almost you should always, like with a lot of these folks, it goes back to like Rich or any of these guys that they should know who you are. And so don't be shy in terms of just saying stuff, even if you think it's a dumb question. Sometimes dumb questions are the best questions because it forces us to rethink what we're doing, all of us. And so, but make sure like people know who you are in this circle, because these are your trainers, and it's free. And or unless you want to pay me $5,000, and I'll tell you what the hell to do. But why?
I was telling Joe, like, connect with Rich. He's got the same type of roles that you're working on. You can help him fill a couple of roles right there.
Yeah, and and now, and even with your hiring managers and things, give them a call, talk to them, and
Yeah.
don't be shy. So
Yeah, I agree.
anyway,
Hey, was
Pick it up the
Tobias the one
phone.
that liked Whisper? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
there he is. He's on
He
here
doesn't
now.
use an
You
app.
can
Hey.
beat him up.
I'm on
There
here.
he is.
Tobias, why would you use Whisper over Mac dictation if you're using a
Mm,
Mac?
Well, I wouldn't use that over Mac. Well, Mac dictation. So I don't use a Mac, but Mac dictation.
You don't have a Mac?
No, there's.
Oh, come
So
on.
He's got a custom
Really?
built. He's got a custom built freaking.
I mean,
You know.
I built pieces literally from
Okay,
scratch since I was like 9. So
he's on the dark web.
Yeah.
or I mean, yeah, I guess. But so Macs are good, but they're meant to be easy to use. Mac dictation, I'd have to read up on the differences. But Whisper Flow has been the best I've ever seen in any software ever.
No, I was reading about it. It looks really good. It's just that we were talking about, because I use dictation. I have dictation turned on, and I can do everything that WhisperFlow does on my Mac without using WhisperFlow, and that's why I'd asked. I didn't know you
does
were
it have
Mac guy.
there are a couple differences just
Show
from
your screen,
literally-
Price, because I was showing him what you were. I was trying to explain why you loved it, and I go, I don't really know why he loves it.
So it's a very new tool just by nature. So I've literally only been using it for 3 weeks, by the way, so keep that in mind. But I have a log of every single thought I have. So I speak a lot to it, but you can see like a lot over the entire day. So I have a thought of my entire day. It also corrects words. So I can create a dictionary.
Okay. Point
Um,
taken. That's really good.
So
That's
I
really
also
good.
every single time I want to think, like I want something to happen, I just go into I want to build out, I want to, and then like that's just in the moment. Like if I'm on the other side of my room doing something and I have a thought, I just go over here. I want to update my Airtable database with this feature, and I go back to what I was doing, and then once a week or something, I go in and then I convert this into my Airtable database, where I then delegate it to my team, right? So in the project management, right, I have just, I don't want to show way too much here, but
Bias.
I have a bunch of projects that I'm working on, and my team just goes in manually and just completes task off it for me. So I can just think something through, write it down somewhere, speak it to be true, and then it'll happen. If I still believe it like a week later.
Yeah, that's a lot more impressive than dictation. I think more along the lines of like I use it so I don't have to type, right? So if I have a thought, right, it's like I think before you came on, I made a cold call cheat sheet, right, for cold calling. I just sat here and talked for like 5-10 minutes about everything I know about cold calling. Once it was all done, I asked Claude, I think it was Claude I used, hey, turn this into a cold calling cheat sheet. That's what I use dictation for. It writes my emails for me, it does my searches. But I like the fact that this is all recorded, like in terms of you can go back and look at it. That's impressive.
It's also using AI, right? So it's like, it's not saying what you say, it's saying what you mean. So you can have thoughts in the middle of it. Hey,
that's interesting.
That's great.
Let's say here. Hey, I want to schedule in a meeting for next Monday. Wait, sorry, next Thursday instead. Can you do that for me? It'll say
fix
next
it.
Thursday.
Oh,
right.
That's
so
impressive.
in the middle of thought, right? If I'm writing out a paragraph to some person, one of the core things that has helped me do is have 3 conversations at once, because effectively I went from maybe 90 to 100 words per minute writing speed, just like consistently when I'm speaking to someone, to 160.
That's see, Dom, you didn't explain it. This makes a lot more
Well,
sense.
that's what
Way to go,
For
Dom.
someone like him,
Come
this
on,
is
man.
fantastic. But also for me, because I do that all the time. I'll say, hey, I need to set a meeting up for Tuesday. Hey, can we set something up for Tuesday at 3:00? Like I'll say that, then I got to go back and fix it. This will fix it for you. That's impressive.
Well, I figured if it was number 2 in productivity, and Tobias told me about it and loves it, there's got to be a reason why everyone loves it.
Yeah, I pushed it to a lot of kind of the top guys I know, because if you're managing people, this is really good if you're managing people. Like if you need to like quickly just get a lot of messages out quickly, usually what you do when you're writing is you think it through in your head and then you type it out. But when you're speaking, by nature, the act of thinking and speaking is the same from like a psychological standpoint. So you're effectively dragging the process of communicating with your team into one, instead of you having to think, what do I need to say, and telling them that. You can just speak as you go, and then if you have an error in the middle of your speech, you just say it out loud and it'll understand it.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
It has helped
amazing.
me a lot.
Tobias, I don't know. Are we allowed to show Greg's? I don't want to.
I can just give a quick demo, I guess. So this version 1.7.
Wait, let me remove some of these note takers. 1 second.
Hey guys, I gotta jump. Dom, great to see you. Everyone else,
Good to see you. Good to see you on
See
the
you,
ice,
Andy.
bud.
See ya.
see you guys.
Good to see you on the ice.
Dude,
Bye.